Hello everyone, today I am going to be making this cute little reversible octopus amigurumis. These are super simple and easy to make. To make these you are going to need two different colors of yarn and also some scraps for the accessories and the facial features. You will need some black beads for the eyes and some glue to stick them on. I have also used a larger 3mm crochet hook and a smaller crochet hook for weaving in the ends. I have also used a yarn needle and a stitch marker. So let's get started. I'm going to be using a 3mm crochet hook, which is a couple of sizes smaller than what is recommended for my yarn. For the head, start with one of your colors and first make a magic circle. To do that, take your yarn and loop it up and over your finger like so, forming a cross, and then insert your hook underneath the cross. Take the yarn from the other side and pull through. Now you have one loop on your hook, yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook. That completes the magic circle. Chain 1 to start, and I am going to be making 6 single crochets into this magic circle. To do that, insert your hook into the circle and pull up a loop. Now you have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2, and that completes your magic circle. I am going to be making 5 more single crochets into this circle for a total of 6. Once you have completed 6 single crochets like this, pull on this tail to tighten the circle, and that brings you to the end of round 1. Go ahead and mark the last stitch of this round. I am using a paper clip for that here, but you can use anything. You can get proper stitch markers or use a safety pin, or a yarn in a different color will also work. This amigurumi is going to be worked in continuous rounds, so there is no need to join at the end of this round. For round 2, I am going to be placing 2 single crochets in each and every one of these 6 single crochets of the previous round. To do that, insert your hook into the first stitch and pull up a loop. Now you have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through. Place 1 more single crochet into that same stitch. Place 2 more single crochets into that next stitch. Two more in the one after that, and continue like this all the way around. Now I am at my last stitch, so I am going to remove my stitch marker and place 2 more single crochets into that stitch. Again, I am going to mark the last stitch of this round. At the end of round 2, you should have 12 single crochets. For round 3, I am going to be placing 1 single crochet into the next stitch and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch, then again 1 single crochet into the next stitch and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch. So essentially we are just increasing in every alternate stitch. So to do that, single crochet in the first single crochet, 2 single crochets in the next single crochet, one single crochet in the next single crochet, 2 single crochets in the next one, and continue like this all the way around. Now I am at my last 2 stitches. I am going to be placing 1 single crochet into my last stitch, and then I'll remove my stitch marker and place 2 single crochets into that last one. If you are not placing 2 single crochets into your last stitch, then you have done some error in your counting and you should recheck it and do it again. Always mark the last stitch of your rounds. At the end of round 3, you should have 18 single crochets. For round 4, I am going to be making 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and then 2 single crochets in the next stitch. So essentially we are going to be increasing in every third stitch. To do that, single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in the stitch after that, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch. Repeat the same pattern all the way around. Now I am at my 3 last stitch, so I am going to be placing 1 single crochet into the third last stitch, 1 single crochet into the second last stitch, and then remove my stitch marker and place 2 single crochets into that last stitch. Always mark the last stitch of your round. Round 4 is going to be your last increased round. At the end of round 4, you should have 24 single crochets. Round 5 is going to be very simple. I am just going to be placing 1 single crochet in each and every single crochet all the way around. If you are using a crochet hook which is a couple of sizes smaller than the recommended hook size, then it is always going to be a tight squeeze, but that's a good thing in case of amigurumis, because once you stuff the piece, none of the stuffing will show through. I am now at the end of round 5. My piece is already starting to curl up. At the end of round 5, you should have a stitch count of 24. I am going to be making the exact same thing as round 5 for round 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So 5 more rounds. I am going to complete that and meet back up with you. Here I have completed my 10 rounds. I am going to do 1 slip stitch into the last stitch and then chain 1 and snip my yarn. There we go. I have also made the same piece using my other color, and I have also left a long tail on that one for sewing. For the tentacles, first make a slip knot. To do that, take your yarn and loop it up and over your finger twice like so. Then pull the left loop over the right loop and pull the right loop up and over. Pull on this long tail to tighten it, and that finishes your slip knot. Insert your hook into the slip knot and pull to tighten it. Now you are going to have to chain 5. After chaining 5, you are going to have to chain 2 more. These 2 chains are going to act as your first half double crochet. Then I am going to skip these first 2 chains and work into this third chain, yarn over, insert your hook into the third stitch and pull up a loop. Now you will have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. That completes 1 half double crochet. I am going to be doing 3 more half double crochets into the next 3 stitches. Then into this last stitch I am going to be making 5 half double crochets. Then work back up the other side on the opposite side of the chains. You will have to do 5 half double crochets in total. The last one is going to be in that first 2 chains we did at first, and that finishes your tentacle. Chain 1 and snip the yarn. I have worked over the first tail, so I can go ahead and snip that too. Now I am going to weaving this tail as well. For doing that, I am using a smaller crochet hook. Insert it through a couple of the stitches in the back and pull this tail through to make it secure. There we go. You are going to need to make 7 more of these for a total of 8, and you are also going to have to make 8 of these in a different color. I have also left a long tail on one of these tentacles for sewing. Now I am going to sew together these 2 pieces that are meant for the head. To do that, invert one of the pieces like so, and then insert it into the other piece. Now I am going to sew all the way around using a ladder stitch. To do that, insert your needle into one stitch and then into one stitch of the other side and pull through. Then from that side, insert it into one stitch and then insert it into the corresponding stitch on the other side. Continue like this all the way around. Once you have a small opening left, you are going to want to stuff the body. To do that, put some fluff into that space, but do not overstuff it, because remember, the body needs to lay flat. I think it needs a little bit more. I think that's about enough. Now I'm going to sew the rest of the stitches. Try to flip it a couple of times. See if it flips nicely. Now I am going to sew on these tentacles. Since we have 24 stitches all the way around and we have 8 legs, we are going to be stitching these legs onto 3 of these stitches. Just attach these legs at 3 points. Move on to the next leg. Continue the same way all the way around for 8 legs. Once you are done, repeat the same thing on the other side using your other color. After doing that, I am going to sew along the edges of the tentacles. To do that, match two of them up. Then take the outer loop of one of them and the inner loop of one of them and sew them together. Repeat all the way around. Continue in the same way all the way around for all the 8 legs. Now it's time for the face. You can have fun here and put different expressions on different sides. You can put happy on one side and angry on another, or you can make one side sleepy and one side awake. I am going to be making one side a boy and the other side a girl. So to do that, I am first going to be placing 2 eyes. Once the glue has dried, I am going to embroider the rest of the facial features. I want to put glasses on this side. To do that, I am going to be using a darker blue color. I am going to be making 2 rectangles around the eyes. To do that, enter from one of the sides, making sure not to poke through the other side. Do the same thing around the other eye. Finally, make one small connecting line between the two. Now the glasses are complete. Then I'll embroider a small smile using black. After doing that, bring the yarn out through the other side. Then flip the work, and I'm going to be making a face on this side as well. Bring the yarn all the way around to the front, making sure not to poke through the other side. The face should directly be on the opposite side of this face. So right here, I'm going to be making 2 squinty eyes and a small smile. On this side, I am also going to add a small bow. If you want to learn how to make small bows like this, let me know down in the comments and I will make a separate video on that. Place the bow on one side like this and sew it into place. Then I am going to use the same pink thread to make tiny blush marks for the cheeks. and that finishes the embroidery. And your reversible amigurumi is all done. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.